United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is a highway meeting only. No other discussions can be brought up today, unless it is highway related only. I'll stop there and let Dana fill in anything that he wants to add to that. Otherwise, we'll follow the agenda accordingly. You have anything, Dana?
Yes, this is just restricted to highway matters due to the type of notification. So we can proceed on those items. So whichever the agenda you want to pass those for.
Sheila, you probably didn't get a copy of it, but we. Thank you, Sheila. You need a secretary to the secretary. All right, roll call. We're all here, all three commissioners. The first on the agenda, obviously, is Highway Department. A is Oberhauser Road. So I'm gonna, that's what she has on the agenda first.
Would it be possible, Gary, to pump that down about 4 so I could talk about it during community crossings?
We can do that. That's,
Okay, and Mr. Greenwood said that was okay.
okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
As long as he knows he's gonna sit here for a little while, that's
It
all.
won't be long.
Okay.
There are other stuff before it's just short. I just want to get it.
I'm gonna, at this time, I'll turn it over to the highway superintendent and we'll follow his lead.
I just want to report, commissioners, that all of our line items are in the black. We worked with the auditor to make sure that there was some interdepartment transfers made in 1173 today. All of our cash balances has always been requested to be over $100,000 going into the first of the year. We're going to be in those parameters, and we believe much better. Secondly, we have received the new computers and servers in our department. WTHI will be on premises on the 15th to get the GIS set back up. We've had fourth phase there a couple of times just to tweak some things, but we're very appreciative for the new system. And it's my understanding that we can be hardwired into fiber in January, which will change the way our department works dramatically. So we look forward to that.
I will continue to push to see that we get that connection as soon as possible.
ARPA bridges under, we have one ARPA bridge under construction, that's Franklin Road. Gentlemen, it is on schedule. In fact, it's just a little ahead of schedule now that they've started. I've been advised by contractor CLR, they anticipate starting Wasatch Lake Road Bridge next week. In regard to community crossing, commissioners, we received, and I know you're all aware, but $974,376.30 for the 2022 call. This will resurface 6.295 miles. Since my tenure at the highway department, my staff and myself have put together the community crossing grants. We have received $3,751,642.41 in my tenure. Gentlemen, we must stay on the ball because this is not always a given. Owen County has perceived this as a given, and it is very competitive in today's world. I am asking, and I know we talked about it, I'm asking for assurance that ADA is in motion because we're getting ready to apply for the next call, and we have indicated that we would be there. So,
Speaking of that, Greg, and I'm going to touch on that, I spoke with Dana yesterday about that very subject. We have going to put a proposal together to go out for bid. on our 19th meeting. So that will be proceeded and it will be in progress. We obviously won't have by the end of the year, probably someone under a contract, but we have that ball in motion. So we should be covered moving into 2023.
That being said, commissioners, I would like to get bid packets out and try to get under contract in January. I'd have to work with Dana on this, but I've talked with colleagues in the business that we've bid with before, and I believe that may be the best time to bid. The roads that we have that fit were Concord Road. We will finish Steubenville Road, and we received Fiddler Road from Tower Road to Combs Road. We received about half the miles that we have in the past, and it's just because
Cost.
To make things fit. In that report, commissioners, we always put together a road plan that you would have required me to have before you by now. But we were waiting for community crossing to come in and for some serious decisions to be made on how we continue. In the past, what didn't get placed on community crossing, or what we didn't get awarded on community crossing on the wish list, was placed on the following year. Therefore, it would be my assumption that we would put Fiddler Road on. And the road that was missed with you, Bob, was Cedar Lane. So I don't know if you want to continue with that or not. Commissioner Lowe, in your district, in the last call, we paved a portion of Steubenville. It's going to be completed this time. The two roads that missed were Oberholzer Road, a mile of, and White Springs Road, a mile of.
Greg, can I jump back just a second? You mentioned Fiddler Road. So we were denied that short section that we were given back in the spring because we sent that money back. Okay. Yeah, we'll want to continue moving that to the 2020. And you're right. And fellow commissioners, we've always done that. Whatever got ditched for the previous year, we rolled it over into the next community crossings. I think that's only fair when we've made these commitments to the areas of getting those roads done. I think Greg feels the same way.
Therefore, so anyway, we need to discuss what we do in regard to going forward with those particular roads. But we also have the ARPA roads that were approved, and I think it is the best time to get
bids out
for those two. So that's a lot of work between now and then. I don't know if Dana has time. I've not worked with Dana before. I can put the bid packets together and send them to you, or you, however you would like.
I'll just get with you.
Okay, great.
We've got a total of 4 months to do this, to get them under contract, but we've always in the past done it as soon as possible.
Yes.
So.
And the reason I would like to now is we may run into higher prices the longer we wait.
Let's hope not.
Right. That comes to Mr. Greenwood. Mr. Greenwood's here to speak about Oberholzer Road. His conversations were with previous Commissioner Dubois in regard to the road in its entirety. There was a mile of road approved. Therefore, what was to be paved was from Smithville Road to Orman Road, leaving another mile and 3/10 without attention, other than remaining gravel. So I'll let Mr. Greenwood speak.
You can come up now and
Can I ask a quick question? That mile that you're talking about, is that part of the community crossings?
It was.
It was, that Dale approved last year. Okay, I'm just trying to get caught up. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, came in today, I wanted to see where we stood on the road, talking about. I just wondered if, we knew a possible date when it might come to pass. We could get that, whether it be next year or.
I spoke to Greg about this, and I'm gonna let Greg kind of, I tell you, we had a discussion about this on several occasions, so I'm gonna let him.
Commissioners, I don't have, any problem, Mr. Greenwood knows this, so did Commissioner DuBois. I don't oppose any road getting hard surface at all, I don't oppose Overall's road getting hard surface. But I do believe that road needs, some major attention prior to putting, an investment of a hard surface on that. I think that road needs ditch, there needs to be pipes on that road, and we need to rebuild and, compact, that surface. Unfortunately, it's like many roads in Owen County, that road was asphalt and it's been ground. And these residents were promised, and Mr. Greenwood would tell you, I think maybe 8-10 years ago, that these roads would be repaved. I think it's our responsibility to try to see that happens. That being said, what I would like for the commission to allow me to do, and I wanted Mr. Greenwood to hear what I've got to say. I think that road needs full depth reclamation like we did on Hickory Road. And that's in Gary's district, and he could attest to how well it is performed. I would like to go in and add approximately 6 inches of millings to the entire road and grind them in along with 5s. Recompact the road and use either calcium chloride or an emulsion and pack, recompact, and pack. I think this is something we can do this summer. We have material on the lot as far as millings, we don't have to purchase those. 5s would have to come out of regular stone. And then I think the following year, the road needs to be placed on its entirety, just not a mile. Joel, you're new, but the other 2 commissioners know that I oppose paving partial roads and not getting them complete, because they can take you to many roads where they are a disaster. We've got a real good piece and then not. I believe if the commission allows me to do this, this is something that we could start sometime in spring. And it is a process that will go throughout the summer. If you go to Hickory Road now, there will be many people say you can't tell the difference between it and blacktop.
It worked out really, really well. That was a gravel road out there that just was a constant problem. Plus there's a pretty heavy RV park out there. People coming in with, Class A motorhomes.
Right.
Heavy fifth wheels. And Greg did exactly what he was talking about. They went out there and ground millings into it. I think they put some lime in there as well, compacted it, ended up putting a fog seal on the top after it was all done. You couldn't tell it now from a
We rolled, we
road.
compacted,
And we did that all in-house.
We did it all in-house, and it's, in my opinion, that road now is ready for hard surface, although when you go drive it, and I would,
Right.
Mr. Greenwood, yourself, anybody, I would say go drive it, and you'll see that it has been successful, but we built a good road instead of putting a Band-Aid on something that's a problem.
Mr. Greenwood, do you understand why we're suggesting this, to do it in this fashion?
I'm sorry.
Do you understand why we're suggesting to do it in this fashion? It was unfortunately, it was ground, okay? But in talking with Greg on this, we had to put a bed back down. We have to start somewhere. We just can't put good over bad. And he's got a perfect example, and I have seen that road, and this is the best way to approach it. And you're gonna see results right away. It won't be the hard surface initially, but we talked about the drainage, getting that road crowned, getting the pipes put in, getting it bedded down nice and tight. And in this manner, it gives us the ability at a later time to come in and put a permanent hard surface on that road.
The following year.
Yeah, and you'll be more than tickled with the results. It'll be far better than what you're driving on now.
Where's the Hickory Road at?
It's up in the, it's up off of,
South Cataract Road,
South Cataract Road.
about a half to 3/4 of a mile down South Cataract Road to your right.
It's a lot of the same process we used on Steubenville, but not to the extent that was used on Steubenville Road.
It's-
East Fall Creek, West Fall Creek, you done the same thing, didn't you? That's not the same way.
No,
But this is a great process to get that road back up on a good bed where it's worth working on.
It's been a concern of the neighbors there about the drainage along the sides.
Right, well, that's gonna all be addressed ahead of time because we can't build a road without getting the water away from it.
Yeah, I understand.
So, we've talked about it, Greg and I, and we're just gonna proceed with this, and I think you guys will be more than satisfied. Cause you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, there's roads that are 4 times worse than yours in that district. And I have to do my due diligence to try to do the best I can in that district. And this is the best result we can come up with. And there's far, far, far worse roads. But that's where and certainly, Greg, you've got my approval on this. It's up to the other two.
Yeah, we'll take a vote on it, and I think that we need to make that part of our 2023 road plan,
Absolutely.
excluding community crossings, obviously. And I'll make another comment on that. There were several of those roads ground about the same time, and a perfect example, and Greg will attest to this, McFerrin Road was one of those that were ground.
Mhm.
We put that on community crossings, we paved that road, and things cracked, broken, busted, we had to have them come back out and repair it. So if we don't do this to your road and go out there and just pave right over what you have now, you'll be back in here in 2 years complaining that your roads fell apart. And we don't want that. We don't want that for you, we don't want it for us. So, yeah, and we're wasting county time and dollars, so, I will at this time ask for a motion to approve the rebuilding of the, I'm gonna say, foundation of Oberhauser Road. Is that a fair statement, Greg?
I would like it to be a full depth reclamation.
A full depth reclamation, okay? I'll change my
Wording on that.
wording, and, to be done in the 2023, upcoming year road plan. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion. Yeah, was that a motion? Do you want?
I'm asking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to do a deep reclamation on Oberholzer Road, between Smithville and Orman. Or do you want to do the
I'd
whole,
like to do the whole road.
and the whole road?
That's what I
Yep.
ask in the motion is the whole
Okay.
road.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'll make a motion.
And I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll be out there this spring or summer.
That sounds good. Great.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Welcome.
Help on this.
Thank you.
It'll take them some time to tear that all up and put it all back together, so bear with them when they do it, but it'll be well worth it.
When that, part of it is finished, is that, you said it looks like paper.
Then the following year, we can readdress it.
Yeah, it does. Looks like chip seal is what it looks like.
Yeah. It's not dusty.
No, absolutely not. I'd say while you're in
It's a
town,
process.
Yeah.
I'd say while you're in town, shoot up 231 and go up there and look at that road.
That done, then, no, it will be dusty.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Good day.
You too.
Thank you, commissioners. Leads me to my next point on the agenda. I would like to ask the commissioners to meet with me administratively to finalize the 2023 road plan. And I would like to get this completed as soon as possible, if not next week, so I can get the road plan in front of you in your next commissioner meeting.
Let's set that up right now. What does December the 14th at, say, roughly 2 o'clock? No? Okay. Well, would the 13th work? Okay. We want to get everybody involved that needs to be, so.
Okay.
13th at 2 o'clock, administrative meeting at the highway.
Yes.
And so you know, and Dana can help us with this, and Bob and I just came back from the commissioners' conference. We used to have administrative meetings quite often at Highway Health Department. You know, if we come in here and decide that we're gonna paint this building purple, that's not something that we need to take a vote on necessarily. It's administrative function. It's part of our job. So we used to meet at the highway quite often to discuss equipment, what needs to be replaced, things that don't need to be discussed here in a meeting. And I want our council to give us his blessing on administrative meetings because they really stressed it up there. The public access attorney said, absolutely, you can have administrative meetings.
They should be considered work sessions, and advertised as such, and they can be any location that you need to be. But ignore all that those happen. And that way, three of you together in a work session, you can talk about it, kind of get a general consensus of what you want to do. But anything that needs to take final action on would then have to be done in a regular meeting or a special meeting. Any final action. So you can't take final action, but especially if it's administrative, where there doesn't need to be a vote, you're just talking it over and with guidance, you can do that. But any time too, where board commissioners get together to go over county business, it should be advertised as a work session.
A work session, okay. They never mentioned that up there. All they kept saying was administrative function. So, but if that's the case, every time we want to get together and discuss that, we have to advertise a work session, and that's another posted on the courthouse door, I guess.
I was gonna say, is just posting it on the door of the location and where it's at good enough? The problem is you have the same paper in your neighborhood. I have to have everything to them now by 3 o'clock on Fridays in order to get in the following Wednesday papers.
If you have a place here in the courthouse where you normally post, these posted there and posted on the door of the facility that you're having the meeting at.
Okay.
It does not have to be published in the paper. So just on the bulletin board or post board here.
And I'll never tell you how to do your job, Dana, ever. But Bob, correct me if I'm wrong, the public access said meetings didn't have to be advertised as long as it was posted 48 hours on the building that the meeting was going to take place.
Okay, well,
I'm just trying to understand some of this as well. You don't remember, you must have been sleeping during that session.
Since the
I didn't hear him say that, you know, it had to be advertised or anything.
So what I
Really
post, I'll
didn't.
email to you guys and you
Since
can.
it's gonna be at a location other than your normal location, that's why I would post it at the
Both places.
too.
Okay.
Just, for that purpose, they said it'd be difficult for somebody to run around town and try to see if there's ever a note on it.
Right.
But if it's gonna be in this room, yes, just on board, all I'm gonna do. If it's gonna be,
As long as we don't have to advertise it in the paper, that's fine. We just, whatever you put out there, we'll send a copy to the highway.
Do I have to be there?
No, no, you do not. It's not, there would be no minutes taken or anything. Absolutely not, no.
So what I post, I've always put all my postings on the north windows out there and here on the bulletin board outside of it, and whatever I post there, I will send on to them to post the same thing out there at their location. What is your address out there?
2032, US Highway 231.
Okay.
So we'll put that as a work session / administrative function. How's that? You good with that, Greg?
I am.
Okay. And we need to continue that throughout the year as things arise that do not take a final action, whether we're talking about what trucks need to be replaced the following year and those type of things. I mean, okay. So the 13th at 2 o'clock before we get, everybody good? Okay. Go ahead, Greg, I'm sorry.
There's one thing I negated in regard to community crossing. We need a resolution in regard to the signature.
And Dana has prepared that for us today, so if you're ready for that, we'll go ahead and have him read that.
Yes, NDOT requires, either, all three of you have to sign everything, or you can designate one person to sign on behalf of the entire Board of Commissioners. So this would be a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the County of Owen, State of Indiana, concerning authorization for execution of NDOT agreements. Whereas Indiana Code, Chapter 3613, permits any unit in the state of Indiana to exercise any power or to perform any function necessary to the public interest in the context of its governmental or internal affairs, which is not prohibited by the Constitution of the United States or the state of Indiana, or denied or preempted by any other law, or is not expressly granted to any other law to another governmental entity. Whereas Indiana Code 36-2-2-2 authorizes the Board of Commissioners of the County of Owen, Indiana, as the county executive, who shall transact the business of Owen County, and is by law authorized to adopt ordinances and resolutions for the administration of the County of Owen's legal and financial affairs. Whereas the Indiana Department of Transportation has requested specific written authority for the execution of NDOT agreements when all board members of the executive body do not sign. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the County of Owen, Indiana, as follows. Section 1, authorization. The President of the Board of Commissioners of the County of Owen is hereby authorized and confirmed to have authority to execute any NDOT agreements and all other documents related thereto, and all documents related to any NDOT grant programs for and on behalf and to bind the County of Owen, Indiana. Section 2, ratification. The Board of Commissioners of the County of Owen, Indiana hereby ratifies all prior agreements and associated documents executed by the President of the Board of Commissioners of the County of Owen, Indiana, prior to the effective date of this resolution. Section 3, effective date. This resolution is effective immediately upon its date of adoption, resolved this date of December 22. So Section 1 authorizes the President of the Board to do these signatures. Section 2 says if there's already been any signatures made before today's date, that they are ratified, in full force and effect, as if all the commissioners have signed them, and the resolution is effective today.
Thank you, Dana. And fellow commissioners, so you know, a lot of these signatures come over the internet, as in DocuSign. They are electronic. There's not actual paper. So that's the reason for this. I do have right now sitting in my email this document to sign. Obviously, we can't do that until we proceed with this resolution. So thank you, Dana, again.
What resolution number is that, Dana?
20.
20.
20.
Yeah, 020. So with that being said, do I hear a motion to approve resolution 2022-020, resolution of the Board of Commissioners, Owen County of Owen, State of Indiana, concerning authorization of execution of NDOT agreements.
Make a motion to adopt 2022-020 resolution.
I have a motion by Bob. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Joel. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, commissioners, I spoke with Commissioner Burton to get this on the agenda yesterday. On Ramona Road, myself, Administrative Assistant Rachel Whitinger, and Assistant Chad Walker met with Indiana Limestone on Ramona Road to talk about road needs and what they would need to do in regard to road bonds prior to starting a quarry operation there close to the little town of Ramona. They're coming up in the next Plan Commission meeting agenda. Anyway, commissioners, I inspected the culverts on that road. There's a large culvert that is 200 feet east of the Y at Country Club Road. I find that culvert to be fracture critical. It was built in the 1930s. It is a concrete arch structure.
Guys, if you look
United
in your packet,
Consulting,
you'll see it, yeah.
United Consulting will be there tomorrow to assess the structure itself. And with their engineer, I work towards some type of mitigation until this culvert can be replaced. The concern, commissioners, is this is a dead-end road. On the other end, there was a bridge that was closed many years ago, one way in, one way out. Many residents on that road, as well as a business. The business that is there is heavy truck travel. We have looked into permitting already in regard to the floodway there. And after tomorrow and United's recommendations, we may have to call an emergency meeting to discuss what we're going to do with this.
Greg, in your discussion, and I know you and I went out there and looked at this, and we also talked to Susan in the building department. Have we determined that this is in a floodplain or a floodway?
It is in a floodway fringe.
So we can permit that in our local office?
It can be permitted through the building department.
I'm glad to hear that.
What they call backup water, I think.
Pardon?
I think it's what they call backup water.
It is. It is.
Gentlemen, we had a discussion. If you go out there and look at this, we're gonna have to do a runabout around this to get traffic through. And I know it's probably not a good question to ask, but do we have any idea what the cost of that runaround would be on top of this bridge project? I mean, I know we're just gonna use spalls and whatever we can to get some type of roadway through there with a temporary pipe, but whatever that expense is, I guess we're gonna have to include that into the cost of this
Well, we
bridge.
have had to build runarounds before. We had one built out on Dunn Road. We have a pipe that we use for that, so we don't have the pipe cost. It's a used pipe that we use for these type of situations. We have retrieved material from those. In fact, when you look, we're retrieving material from the Dunn Road site as we speak.
So you got this stuff coming back into the lot that you just
Coming back in the lot,
reused?
so we will use that. But I can have you a tonnage in regard to stone after that, but it could be in the neighborhood of $40,000.
That was what I was concerned with, trying to get that as low
We
as
won't have a
possible.
pipe cost.
Right.
What culvert you talking, you're not talking about that one that dipped before you get to your main shelter, are you?
Yes.
Got
Oh,
it.
and the humane shelter's on the road.
Huh?
And the humane shelter is on the road.
And this is the one right below Alls.
Yes. Yep. I would invite each and every one of you to come out and take a look with me, see what I'm talking about.
I think talking to Chad and Greg the other day when I was out there, Chad said he could stick his full arm back through this one crack, so it's pretty deep back through there, so,
Yeah, it seems very critical.
yeah.
Don't get your fingers again.
Wasn't telling on you, Chad, just making a statement, it's deep back in there, yeah.
So this is something that's gonna, after tomorrow and the meeting with United Consulting, I'll have more information, to bring before you.
Good deal.
If the three commissioners, or two of the three, wanted to go visit the site, that would not have to be posted as a special meeting or a work session, as long as you're, because it's just going out to see what the site looks like. And again, no final action or anything can be taken with that, but we could schedule a time and just visit the site.
Thank you,
like we
Dana.
did on that bridge.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we did something similar to that, all three of us on the old Gosport Bridge a year or so ago.
Commissioners, that is informational at this time. I will contact each and every one of you tomorrow, and advise you what, United believes should be our next, move in regard to the repairs and replacement of that, structure. And I'll get that information to, Mr. Kerr. Then Commissioners, I would like to surplus and get the information with your permission to, the attorney, a 2003 Bomag roller. This roller has the vibrator, function that has failed in the front. We could not fix that in-house. We shipped it, to Brandeis, to get, a quote to repair it. Theirs was over $20,000. We didn't send it to Southeastern. Southeastern was nearly $25,000 in the old road. It is worth that, gentlemen. So I would ask to surplus it, and we have a metal rolling desk that I'd like to surplus, and we would sell that on WW's. But I'll need to get that information with your permission to the attorney.
Well, I know that paper's just here, I had it with the, model number, serial number, whatever.
There you go.
Yeah, I've got it in here somewhere, just so I can read it. I'll ask for a motion to approve, to surplus for the highway department a 2003 Bomag model BP 18/45-2, serial number 101-63080-5567, and a metal desk with mapping drawers. Do I hear a motion to approve for the attorney to go?
One second.
Thank you. I've got a motion by Joel. Do I hear a second?
I second that.
Got a second by Bob. All in favor? Aye. Joel, you want to give that? Dana, do you have a copy of that?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't need it. Okay. And that will be in an ordinance at our next meeting. And you guys put that stuff on the govdeals.com yourself out there, right?
We do.
Okay.
Commissioners, I know we reported in the last meeting that we were, able to put 3 individuals to work, tomorrow.
So it's already working.
Thank the council, Sheila, for working with us, on the raises, because it's had an impact on the highway department.
Yeah, it's good to see some crews getting back out.
It is, gentlemen, I'm now ready for the annual bids. Rachel Chad.
On your employees, I have the final, everything is put together for the council meeting for Monday night. If you, I'll send you a copy, really check, Anton's supposed to have the hour rates as well. I think there's 24 full-time positions now, is what was listed on there, but we'll try to take a look at it before Monday night's meeting, so it can be corrected. I think it's okay, but please look.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Dana, I think we're ready for you, sir.
Okay, so this is the annual highway material bids, typical. And the packets that you received are in random order here. They are divided in different categories. And so what I'll do is I'll open it, say who it's from, and I'll check to see that all the materials are in there that need to be. At least a quick personal review of that. And then read what the pricing is for each of those.
You have those broken down in categories, correct, Dana?
I do, they're not in the pile, they're not sorted into categories, but I do have a list, a spreadsheet I made up of the different categories and who bid in that category, so that I can easily check off what they have.
We'll get copies of it.
Yeah, we can get a copy of that before he gets out of here at the end of the day, the categories. Yeah.
Okay, this first bid is from Lincoln Park Stone, and it is for category 1. $196 is complete.
Can't tell you how many times I forget that's there.
All of the addenda is required as well. So. Given the bills number 4 provided. So, starting with number 2 stone, unit price $9.75, $9.75. Number 4 stone, $10.25. Number 5 stone, $14.25. Number 8 stone, $14.25. Number 8 stone commercial grade, $12.75. Number 9, $14.25. Number 11, $14.25. Number 11, commercial grade, $12.75. Number 53 is $9.75, with the commercial grade of 53 being $8.75. Number 73 is $9.75, and number 67 is commercial grade, $12.25. And for the riprap, they have revetment riprap at $12.75, and uniform riprap at $12.75. Clay borrowed is $4.25, and those are all per ton. Anything else? What can we finish, or is that?
No, that's fine, and then what we normally do, Dana, is at the end of the meeting, we'll lay all the bid packets out for any competitor that's here that wants to check their competitor and so on and so forth, but Shannon's the only one here. So, but I'm sure there's a few listening on YouTube, so. The only thing I'm gonna ask you, Dana, and I'll ask you one more time, just talk just a little bit louder so everybody can hear. This thing back here is blowing and hard to hear. We're gonna get you a microphone, I know what's gonna happen. And we need to slide that up. There's another one, Bob. Slide that up. There. Which one's farthest? No, that's as far as that one goes.
This next bid is from S&G Excavating Inc., also for category 1 aggregate.
Can I ask a question real quick? Greg, is this out of Terre Haute? Is that why it says S&G versus Lincoln Park? Because they own a quarry in Terre Haute area under S&G, am I correct?
That is correct. We buy particular stone or the hole patchers. And some of that comes from that query.
Okay,
That's the reason we asked for that.
okay.
Hole patchers have to have a very clean stone, so that's why.
Okay.
It's double washed. They're probably only gonna have
A little bit of it.
a couple of bits.
All supporting documentation is present, and yes, this is S&G Excavating, out of Terre Haute, Indiana. So, what we have as so for snow and ice, sand, $5.50. For fill sand, $5.50. For number 12 pea gravel, $11.75. For fill dirt, $5.25. So they've broken it out. Fill material, $5.25. Bank gravel, $5.25. Overside gravel, $26.75. Number 5, road gravel, $10.75. Number 8, road gravel is $10.75. Number 9, gravel, $10.75. Pea gravel, number 11, this is round gravel, is $10.75. CA16 pea gravel, round gravel, is $9.25. Pea gravel number 12, $12.75. The fill sand, $5.50. Number 23, 24 sand, $6.25. Number 24, manufactured pressed sand, $13 for asphalt mix. Number 8, 70% crushed is $13. Number 9, 80% crushed is $13. And number 11, 80% crushed is $16.75. For any double wash material, it's an additional $3.50 each time. Fair pricing. To make it a little easier, try to stick with the calculator. The next for category 1 is U.S. aggregates. Check. do not see the addendum package materials, present, or the domestic steel affidavit, in packets. So the aggregates. NDOT revetment riprap.
Dana, can I stop you just, so is this a legitimate bid or are they missing some documents?
What you can do is go ahead and take it under advisement, make sure that, see what's missing, because there can be mere technicalities that you can overcome and still accept a bid. So I would again take it under advisement just to make sure we
Okay,
got all the correct.
sure, I just wanna make sure we're not accepting a bid that doesn't have everything in there unless we're discussing it, so.
So by taking it under advisement, you guys will be able to discuss it and determine whether it substantially meets the bid process.
Okay. You all right with that?
That would be NDOT revetment riprap, $11.25. Uniform riprap type B, $11.50. Number 2 stone, $8.25. Number 4 stone, $9. Number 7 stone, $12.75. Number 8 stone, $12.75. Number 11 stone, $14. Ag line, $7. Number 53 stone, $8, and number 73 stone, $8.50. So again, this is just a reading of it. It's not, if accepting it, we can determine if it's substantial.
Common to get this many. Is it common to get this many?
Oh, yeah.
Because we didn't have this hardly any last year.
Yeah, the one that we're short on is the bridge and the piping always seems to be the one that we don't get as many as we used to get.
Okay, Rogers Group is the next for category 1 aggregates. Supporting documentation. For the things for which they did provide a bid, where it says tons available, each one of those is 10,000 tons.
What was that again?
The, for where, on the appendix A, the price sheet, it says tons available to meet the contract. They put in that they have 10,000 tons of each of these items.
Okay.
Is available. So for NDOT number 2 limestone, $8.55. Number 4, limestone, $12.25. Number 5, limestone, $14.25. Number 7, limestone, $9.95. Number 8, stone commercial, $10.65. Number 9, limestone, $14.25. Number 11's $11. Number 53, NDOT, $10.95. Number 53, C would be $6.95. Number 73 is $8.75. They have uniform riprap at $15. We've got riprap at $15. Number 8, NDOT grade, $14.15. Number 11, NDOT grade, $15. Shot rock, $9.75. Snow, ice, sand is $6.25, and that would come out of Morgan County. Fill sand, $6.25 out of Morgan County. Number 12, pea gravel, $7.35 out of Morgan County. Number 23, sand, $9.25 out of Morgan County. And graded riprap, $15. Okay, the next is Hanson Aggregates Midwest. On the outside, it did not list the category, but it does on the inside. So that was just the mail packet. So this is for category number 1, aggregates. And all of the documentation for the other categories as well, just one. The domestic steel affidavit is present, but has not been completed. Otherwise, the supporting documentation is and again, we should still read the quotes and we can discuss whether it's acceptable or not. Okay, they have number 2, stone, $9.65. Number 4, $11.90. Number 5, washed, $16. Number 8, washed, $14.35. Number 9, washed, $15.75. Number 11, washed, $19.20. Number 12, washed, $17. Number 53s, $6.40. Number 53C, $9. Number 73s, $11.65. 10 FF ice grits, $8.20. And the Bettman riprap, $13.10. Sorry, they sent a sheet. They did write it out on the bid sheet, but they also sent another sheet that was actually easier to read. Copy. Just make sure we know the bids. Okay.
You still have this, don't you, Sheila? One of these. Okay.
The last bid for category 1 is from Martin Marietta. The packet appears to contain everything except the domestic steel affidavit. pricing, number two, community, commercial, commerce grade, $10.35. Number four, $14.35. Number 11, $14.05. Number 11, commercial, $14.05. And they do limit the tons available to 3,000 for that particular item. Number 53s, $11.10, 53Cs, $10.35, 73s commercial, $11. Number 11 washed, $15.05. They do limit the tons available to 3,000. Number 12 washed, $15.05. Again, they do limit that to 3,000. Revetment riprap, $15.20. That does complete category one. Category two, we have asphalt materials Inc.
Commissioners, can I speak in regard to stone while he's on?
Absolutely.
The next, commissioners, this year has been a difficult year, I think because of inflation of fuel, that, product has been tough to get. And I need locations geographically. I would ask, that you take these stone bids under advisement to the next commissioners meeting so I can take a look. But right off just plain and simple, I believe Martin Marietta to be totally out of line and their bid to be rejected and take the others under advisement. And I would request, if they meet all the needs that the attorneys see that they need, that you accept them. The other bids, so I can work geographically.
To accept them under advisement.
Yes, but, I would even, I think Martin Marietta's bid's out on it. So I would reject it. I would like to be able to work with the other queries geographically, depending on where we're working. So I would ask if they fit the needs that you accept the rest other than Martin Marietta.
I don't have a problem with that. Do you, Gary?
No.
You want a motion on that, or you want to hold off on that?
Let's wait till he finishes the ball, and then we'll,
You bet.
but yes. So you're in category two now?
Yes, these are
Okay.
category two. And they have included quantities and pickup price and delivery price.
What company are we
This
discussing?
is asphalt materials.
Yeah, they're kind of category by themselves there, aren't they, Greg?
Well, Well, they fall under bituminous, but they bid products that the others don't seem to.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll use the quantity, I assume that's gonna be a limit. It's a quantity they deliver.
You wanna look at that and see if you can help him? Obviously, we gotta make sense of it before we can read it, right?
Well,
I just give you guys a copy of that letter that we got from IDM, they just let the commissioners know the dispenser's gonna build onto their sewer system. So we've acknowledged it, so we all have a copy of it, and that's what that other,
did you pass yours on to me, Don? Or I did too?
one of them needs to go to Dana.
Oh.
Commissioners, if I may, what I observed, here is Sheila indicated to me that asphalt materials was a couple of times, is that right? And asked to change their,
Yes.
or asked to change some things in
And the
their
first
package.
one, he came back and changed it a second time, then he came back a third time, and I told him I wouldn't let it do it. I called and talked to Gary about it, and we talked
Verify
about
everything
to
she's saying.
resubmit.
And I told her that he could change it as long as it was before the cutoff date of that meeting, and that was the case.
Well, as I look at the sheet for the request that we made, commissioners, I mean, there's a lot of material in here, like but on the sheet that looks like there's been some scratched out changes made with the gallons on the sheet that we made the request for. So that's what you have in front of you. And the price per gallon. And then they've broken out on their own sheet is where it's to be picked up and if there are any surcharges. We're used to those, and but this sheet it has been changed. Looks like a time or two.
And we are aware of that.
We're aware of that. I don't know how much you want me to speak, but when I look at all these, just off the top of my head, it looks like everything's probably went up about a nickel a gallon.
The categories meet your
The category,
satisfaction.
they do.
Okay.
So I will not read their individual other sheets, just what was on the actual bid packet.
Okay.
So for CCPR, $900 a ton. For RP emulsion, $3.75 a gallon. Okay. It's here, it's difficult to see. I believe that is, there's no CCPR, it's all the RP emulsion was $3.75 for 900 tons. The AMPE, $2.50, 600 tons. AEPL, $2.50, 600 ton. AE90, $2.50, 600 a ton. AEP, $3.50, 840 a ton. AE150, 260, $2.60, 644 ton. SS1H, AENT, $2.50, with 600 a ton. AEP's $2, with 480 a ton. And AE90S, $2.90 at 684 a ton.
On that particular bid, you guys help me here. We go up and actually pick some of that stuff up in our own distributor truck, and then they also bring down a tanker load from time to time, so we operate both ways there.
It absolutely depends on what we're using. They have an Indianapolis plant, and when we're using smaller amounts or some particular products, it's picked up out of Indianapolis. We do also get product out of Lawrenceville, Illinois, and sometimes Lee Robinson too, which is way south. But there's 3 different locations. There's 2 locations in Illinois that we pull tanker loads out of, depending on if we're making chip seal or laying cold mix. The whole patch, or most of it, comes out of Lawrenceville, Illinois, but from time to time, we will run to Indianapolis and pick product up.
Okay, I just want to make that clear for the other commissioners as well as the attorney, that we do go up and pick some up from time to time.
Okay, the next bid under category 2 is E&B paving. I will note it's a little flat that had some open and transport, but the rest, it is sealed. There's no way anybody could use what's in the packet with that little bit of flat. And it's also bound inside so that that would not be considered an issue.
Thank you.
So what was not required, they did provide a bid bond. All supporting documentation is present. Appendix A, they say to see the attached sheets. Okay, so for hot mix, 9.5 millimeter surface, $70 per ton. 12.5 millimeter surface, $68 a ton. 9.5 millimeters intermediate, $70. 12.5 millimeters intermediate, $68. 19 millimeter intermediate, $62. And 25 millimeter base, $60. They did not bid on any other.
That's our blacktop per ton. I'm assuming that's at their plant.
Yes. That's how this bids were requested.
They didn't say that, so I was just checking.
The last bidder for category 2 is Milestone. all supporting documentation is in order. Oh, I see. They have two plants, one in Bloomfield and one in Cloverdale. And the pricing from each plant is different. So first I'll read from their plant in Bloomfield, plant 60. 9.5 millimeter surface, $70. 10.5 millimeter surface, $70. 9.5 millimeter intermediate, $70. 19 millimeter intermediate, $65. And 25 millimeter base, $65.
Hey, David, you missed 12.5 millimeter intermediate. I think you read 9.5 now.
Okay,
It's the
right.
same price as that.
12.5 millimeter, I did not, that is $70 a ton. The other from Cloverdale, their plant 64 for 9.5 millimeter surface, $74.50. 12.5 surface, $74.50. 9.5 intermediate, $74.50. 12.5 millimeter intermediate, $74.50. 19 millimeter intermediate, $69.50. And 25 millimeter base, $69.50.
Greg, help me out here. Shannon's sitting back there, but isn't this $8 to $10 a ton less than what was quoted last year? I was thinking it was like $78 a ton. That's
Yeah, we're about 78 now.
what I thought, a little less.
Liquid has came down, so.
And fuel and oil's coming down a little bit as well right now, so, okay,
Yeah, it's a good thing, yeah, you can get out as quick as you are.
yeah.
It's a good time to get.
No, I'm happy about $8 is $8. Yeah.
Commissioners, what I would ask you to do in regard to bituminous, asphalt materials being the only bidder, we worked with them for many years in the past, they've been, the winning bid, I worked with their representatives, I would ask that you, accept that. Shannon from Milestone here, I would, ask that you, would accept Milestone in both plants. I will have an explanation in regard to that, target, regard to geographics. We're in the northern part of the county paving, their Cloverdale plant's much closer, and we use a whole lot less fuel. So it evens out where the Bloomfield plant is in the other parts of the county. So I would ask that you accept both Milestone bids and, same way as well as, E&B, their location is in, Bloomington. I would like to be able to use all three of those plants, and I believe we can do that because of, the geographics of their locations.
Let's stop right here before we get into pipes and bridges and culverts, because that's totally separate kind of from what we've dealt with at this point. Are you good with that?
I am.
And with that being said, I'm gonna ask for a motion to take category 1 and category 2 under advisement, and to be approved at our meeting on the 19th. We will confer with our attorney on a couple of technicalities on a couple of the bid papers. And with that being said, in previous years that I've said here, we have, as Superintendent Melton mentioned, taken these all under consideration for geographical purposes of Owen County. And I know that was a mouthful, but if I can get a motion on that, to take it under advisement till our next commissioner meeting on the 19th.
I'll make a motion.
Have a motion by Joel. Do I hear a second? Have a second by Bob. All in favor? Aye.
And I'd like to say here that it only makes sense to the geographical location, the past
Absolutely.
working experience with locations.
Yeah.
That plays a lot in part.
Well, with the cost of fuel right now, I mean, obviously $4 more a ton, but if we're 20 miles closer, in this case, we're probably 40 miles closer than Bloomfield, so to Cloverdale. So, yeah, absolutely.
We don't use the Cloverdale plant a lot, but for instance, we laid a street ourselves in the town of Quincy. Last year, I bought the materials out of Cloverdale for working in the northern part of the county. We fill a hot box out there. And really, their Cloverdale plant is probably 8 miles from the county line.
Yeah. No, it's definitely the right thing to do, and obviously we want to do what's best for you guys, so we'll take that under consideration every time. All right, Dana, I'll quit talking. We can go to whatever category you want to go to next.
Next would be category 3 culverts. We have 2 that are in that category. The first is core at Main Water.
I'm gonna stop here for a second too. Greg, help me out here. We've been doing this together for about 4 years. There are a boatload of pipe sizes. You could be there forever reading these. I think before, didn't we just lay them out for them all to be visual and we looked at them? I mean, if I'm wrong, but there's a boatload of pipes in there. Plastic, metal.
Well, and from what I know, with the 2 bidders that you have, Core and Main will be plastic pipe. And E3 Bridge, I believe, is the other bidder. They're going to be our galvanized and aluminized pipes, so you probably just have two
Separate categories really there.
really 2 separate categories.
And I've got a question concerning that. Have you in the past used both of these companies?
I have,
Yes.
So both could be under consideration as well?
yes.
And what I'm getting at here is trying to keep him
Well,
from reading.
what I'm getting at is should we just look at it, advise, and look at it at our next?
Exactly. And again, when we walk out of this room, we can lay all these bids out on the table out here outside, and we can all take a look at them, and anybody from the public that wants to as well, for 15, 20 minutes. But yeah, you're exactly right. We've used both of these companies.
If you're gonna use both, then we probably should view both under consideration and
Core at Main has only offered a bid on 9 sizes of plastic pipe.
Then go right ahead. I just know in the past, there were some of those that were just 30, 40 different ones, yeah.
Again, they're bidding on plastic pipe, 12-inch, $8.43, 15-inch, $11.62.
This per foot.
Yes,
You did say so.
I think that's an 18-inch. Read $16.26, 24-inch, $27.10. 30-inch, $39.99. 36-inch, $49.36, 42-inch, $73.66, 48-inch, $87.29, and 60-inch, $129.42. They did not include the domestic steel affidavit, nor did they include Form 76, nor did they have the addenda materials for the highway department.
So being plastic pipe, they wouldn't need that steel,
No,
would they?
the only thing nice about dealing with Core and Main is we can go factory direct to Brazil.
Right,
We're in a pinch.
okay.
We don't use a lot of it, but it's always been really nice if I do. And if they don't have it, I can usually pick it up right at the factory.
This is from E3 Bridge, and they actually are bidding on both the number 3 culverts and the number 4 guardrails and posts. See what they all have up here.
About the only supplier that we've had for guardrail, isn't it?
We can also, we've been able to buy used material from them too, with our rail posts from time to time when they get it off the road by jobs.
which serves us well in many cases.
That's gonna be a god-awful bunch of.
Yeah, this is the one that you may,
Yeah, I'll,
we'll view that in person and,
Yeah.
take it under advisement.
yeah, we can,
As long as all the checks.
As long as all the documents check your boxes, can move forward. It just might mention what they're bidding on again.
yes, they're, ground and arch culvert pipe, they've been on everything, but plastic and sock for arch pipe. So it's an extensive, list of that. For the guardrail and posts, we have the domestic steel. And I do not see the highway addendum documentation. So they do have the domestic steel and the Form 96.
They do.
Dana, Greg's asking a question.
It's very important in regard to domestic steel, gentlemen, because we cannot use it. I need to make sure that's all proper, because there was and is to this day Chinese steel floating around right now in the culvert business, so I need to make sure that's all proper.
Yes, the domestic steel affidavit is signed and notarized.
I did mention there wasn't one for Core and Main, but they bid plastic only, so we wouldn't need one in that case. Don't hesitate to speak up.
No,
This is you
you're
guys
absolutely
right
right.
here. We don't want to miss anything. We don't want to leave anything out.
And commissioners, when we speak about category one, if the commission feels that they wish to keep Martin Marietta in for case of emergencies, I won't oppose that, but their prices are high enough. We will not use them unless it's an absolute emergency.
And I think it's probably best as we take it under advisement that we leave that to your discretion.
That's what I'm hoping we're seeing is his discretion on the majority.
Yeah.
Well, I can walk down this list, gentlemen, and they're all pretty close, but I can tell you that I will pick and choose where I buy riprap and pick and choose where sevens and eights come from and all that, because the prices vary that much.
Yeah, I'm like you, I was surprised that some of them were.
Yeah, very different.
But we've run into a situation where somebody's ran out of a particular material and we couldn't get it, so.
Well, that's what we're doing right now. We're buying sevens and eights from Rogers and Flemington because nobody else has them. And in this type of weather, they're important to use instead of the others.
They too provided numerous pricings for the guardrail posts as well. So you'll have it available.
Yeah, we'll just, review those here after the meeting and, again, take it under advisement to move forward. Is that the last category there in those?
No, we still have each and H E&H.
Okay.
DNA Bridge, I had checked them out.
They go hitting on the guardrails and posts.
That may be everything.
Are they just bidding on guardrails and posts?
No decking?
You don't use grading decking anymore, Greg?
We do some, but, we haven't bid it for a long time because we have an enormous pile of used grading. So
No need.
no.
Very well.
Okay, for the E&H Bridge and Grading, they did not provide any documentations, any signatures. They simply provided a price sheet. So they did not include any.
Not a responsive bidder.
I would consider that not to be in substantial compliance.
Yep. So with that being said, before we move forward, let's just make a motion now to not accept E&H Bridge and Grading due to lack of information in the bid packet.
I'll make a motion not to accept E&H Bridge and Grading due to non-compliance with bid package.
Do I hear a second?
Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
We have one bid left, and it covers both category 5, the gasoline and diesel, and 6, the motor oils and lubricants. This is the sole bidder in both of those categories.
Before he starts, is that okay with you, Greg, that you have a sole bidder on this, or do you want to pursue a secondary bid on this?
We have pursued secondary bid,
And,
to be quite honest with you, I believe that in regard to fuels, they're probably territorial if they choose not to get bid against each other.
Very well.
We've discussed this many times over. I've asked and been denied, but I would like to shop.
Co-alliance.
Those kind of things on the open market, but I've been told different, so.
Very well.
That being said, I'll still, as your highway superintendent, tell you, I believe I can save money on hydraulic oils and motor oils if I can shop the open market.
And I'm full of agreement with that.
You know, all prices fluctuate too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these companies have sales constantly, inventory reduction, oil prices change monthly, quarterly, so.
Fuel, is quite different, I believe we need, but that would be, the attorney advising in regard to the oils and hydraulic fluids, if we can shop the open market in regard to that, or we need to take bid.
The only thing I'd like to see us do different, I brought it up in a previous meeting with the fuel, is if we could find a larger capacity, we could buy at a better price. Do you feel that that's correct, or are we?
Yes, many counties, depending on their size, small counties like ourselves, Lawrence, Orange, they have central locations where everybody pumps from the same location. They use cards. Each person's a unit is given a card, and I know it would take it out of each department's hands and just probably put it into commissioners, but you could shop fuel by the tanker loads, and you're going to get a much cheaper price. I'm not speaking for the other departments that buy fuel, but I mean, we're all in the same boat. We're getting it delivered by the bulk truck, and we're taken care of very well. But I believe if you would consider the fuel depot type location, and I know they're a cost to build, but you can buy fuel much cheaper that way.
How much fuel can you store?
We have two 3,000 gallon diesel fuel tanks, 1,000 gallon, 500 gallon unleaded. The new one's 1,000 gallon unleaded, and a 300 gallon kerosene. Kerosene's used in the hot boxes, and rodent fuel and
and correct me if I'm wrong, but a tanker loads roughly 8,000 gallons, correct? Or is it more than that? I think it's 8,000.
It's 8,000 now, wait.
So from what I've done some research on, and this is still highway conversation, I've checked with some other counties. And I know for a fact Greg is correct. Monroe County fuels every vehicle that county has at a one fuel depot at the highway garage. And I can tell you that the company that provides that fuel service with those card readers and the pumps and so on, they put up the canopy, they supply all the material to go along with that. I don't know how that works in a bid process, but it's something we need to look at because, and Sheila will attest to this, we had a problem with the laptop, whatever they're monitoring the fuel with down at the sheriff department. We were going down and getting fuel and it says 19 gallons and we were paying for 100 gallons or we had one vehicle that only had an 18-gallon tank and they were charging for more fuel than the tank would even hold. So, and I'm not blaming the department, I'm saying it's a malfunction of a machine. And we had to go back and correct several issues with that. And that's additional work for the auditor's office as well. So from our standpoint, gentlemen, I think it's something that we need to take a real hard look at and get one fuel station. I'll be more than happy to make some phone calls if that's fine with you. Greg's got enough issues to deal with. I don't think he needs to tackle this problem, but I think it's something we ought to take a look at.
Well, where's the best location? Cause they have to have access 24/7, right?
They do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's out plowing snow or sheriff department needs gas in the middle of the night, why? It's gonna have to be somewhere that, but yet, we need your facilities secure, so.
Well, and we can work on that with a security card, a key, or whatever we want to do out there to pass through the gate out there. And I'll bring up something else. Bob, you weren't with us at the time. Greg was, when we had the storm issue and the tornado and the power went out here in town. We couldn't fuel the sheriff department, the EMS, because their station went down. State police even called us and said, hey, we need fuel because they couldn't buy any in town. The only place that had power was the highway department. So,
Running off generator.
yeah, they were running off a generator, but they could still pump fuel, every grade. But then what we ran into is because we didn't have any kind of card swipe or any kind of system, we were literally writing down, this vehicle got so much gas. I'm assuming that we were pretty close at the end of the day event or whatever it was, but that's another issue that we need to take into consideration.
Well, then that just leads into another thing, and I think it's important, and I've said this from the beginning, and commissioners, we have an extremely good security system now, where I could see a fly on the gas pumps that we could watch, but, it's still, the honor system at the highway garage, write down what fuel you get, and, there's no fuel missing, but what I'm telling you is, it needs recorded in each truck and, what each machine's doing. You know, for instance, if I've got a truck that's getting, 4 miles to the gallon, I've got another truck that is getting 6 miles to the gallon, and I need to go to, Aurora to pick up salt, well, I need to send the truck that gets 6 miles to the gallon, so the truck gets 4 miles to the gallon. And right now.
Can't track any of that.
I can't track that, so it'd be really nice to have that system. In the trucking business, that's extremely important to save dollars. And Gary knows that I presented that before, you two probably don't, but I really need a system to help track it better than I've got.
The cost of any investment that we would have in this system, along with the help from whatever supplier is gonna put in, I think we'd get that money twofold, just like Greg's talking, with using the right truck for the right application. We're not, depending on a laptop down at the sheriff department to monitor a fuel going in a vehicle. And it's just the hours of going back and correcting that in the auditor's office. I hate to think how many man hours we had going back and correcting that.
Yeah.
Well, same with maintenance man, if he's running his truck out there or where he's putting the gas in the lawnmower or weed eater,
We don't know, no,
We don't know.
exactly right.
It's 3-4 gallons every day over a week, over 52, and then pretty soon you're thousands of gallons off, and nobody knows. And I agree 100% with that.
I don't think it takes a motion, but if you guys are comfortable with me making some phone calls to check into something like this, and then we can bring it back to the table.
There's none.
There's nothing, yeah, they did one up in, off of 46 up there by 70, and it's just a standalone fuel depot. There's no convenience store that the drivers roll up, swipe their cards, and they leave.
And it's a card system, basically like what we have here at the courthouse.
You can't mess it up.
Exactly.
It records it, yeah.
So I don't think we need a motion on that or anything, do we, Dana?
No, not to.
Yeah, well, then he called Buddy.
In both those categories, there is an extensive number of different items that there's pricing for. So again, this public meeting, we can.
Yeah, we'll quit talking about that and let you go ahead. Yeah, go right ahead.
We have it here, if anybody wants to go through it, they are more than welcome to. So, and they did have all supporting documentation. Again, this is Co-Alliance Cooperative for categories 5, gasoline and diesel, and 6, motor oils and lubricants. So that completes all the bids that we have. Just so it's on the record, these bids were received up until 9 a.m. At the regular meeting on the 5th.
Yep.
Good thing. The regular meeting at the 5th. They have been in my care and custody ever since then, until I brought them here today to this meeting. None of them were open. It was all open here in public. They were read or made available for anyone who wanted to see the pricing. And again, the commissioners have the right to accept all, reject all, take it under advisement, whatever you wish to do in that regards. So that completes the bid opening.
All right, thank you, Dana. So Greg, right now on the fuel, since we only have the one, there's no reason we can't go ahead and approve that for now.
That's correct.
The oil, before we do that, do you want us to reject that part of that bid and say it's for open market? Is that how you want to handle that? Okay.
Yes.
Just want to get it right for you, so you can shop wherever you want for those items. Go ahead, Joel, whatever.
All free.
Guys, jump in anytime.
I'll just go ahead and make a motion.
Okay, yeah,
I make a motion, commissioners, to reject the current bid, energy sales, Co-Alliance, gas, diesel, motor oil lubricants.
he wants to use the oil, he wants to go ahead and accept the gas.
I amend my motion, I make a motion to decline the bid of Co-Alliance on the motor oils, lubricants.
I'll second that motion. All in favor? Aye. Now, going back to that, I'll ask for a motion to accept Co-Alliance Energy Sales for the gas and diesel.
I'll second that motion, or you want a motion?
I want a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the Co-Alliance energy sales bid for the gasoline and diesel.
It probably generally includes kerosene.
And
And
kerosene as well.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't have it on here, but we'll include that because we know you use it. Do I hear a second on that? Got a motion by Joel, second by Bob. All in favor? Aye. Everything else that we have discussed has been put under advisement and will be discussed and approved at our December 19th meeting. And anybody that is interested from the public, we are YouTube, wants to come and look at these, they're going to be laid out here for a little bit to be reviewed, and then they will go to the auditor's office.
Sheila, can I send somebody down to give her a copy of it?
I was just gonna scan everything in and send it to all of them too, just so they have copies. I think between now and the 19th, so, but yeah.
Okay, very well.
That's why,
Absolutely.
following the advice of the legal.
Council, absolutely.
Any other highway discussions today for folks?
Not that I know of, other than you were talking about the raising in
I
the
just-
council meeting,
I'm gonna
so.
get you the book so that you can go through and make sure that everything's
Okay.
what you think it's gonna be.
All the pay scales were-
Raises, then, gentlemen, I think everything is in order, and I know the council's approved them, but, since I need to go to that meeting, I would request that, you attend that meeting.
When is it?
Monday night, the 12th.
Park.
Let's see if I had anything else highway related.
Can you say the 12th?
Yeah, Monday the 12th at 7. And I will get on DocuSign. I tried to look at that on my phone. It didn't come up, that third attachment. Normally it just says DocuSign, you hit it, but it wasn't there. So I'll work on that to get that signed for community crossings. And if I have any issues, I'll come out the highway and we'll look and see if we can pull it up on yours. It's hard to do that stuff on your cell phone sometimes. All right, with that being said, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a second? Bob, second it. All in favor, aye? Thank you, folks. Sheena, we got you out here before 4 o'clock.